Hello everyone. My channel has been launched about 12 years ago, and I have collected a few repetitive questions, and I thought I could use it for a sort of Q&A video. I will just read them and reply here. I feel that the main difference between this teaching and any other methods is that this teaching does not describe the effect of feeling how to play with relaxed hands, or shaping correct phrasing, or playing with cantabile legato. Instead, it teaches students in detail how to create within the correct sensation of legato, or phrasing, or relaxed hands, and then how to express it in the piano. And this is a huge issue that we've been having in piano education for many years. And this is not, there is no one to blame here. Sadly, with this type of teaching, when teachers who just blessed to play the piano well intuitively in the right ways, and they just describe the result of this sensation that they get because somehow they managed to feel and touch the keys in the correct way in the first place. This method of teaching inevitably leave students feeling not good enough. It's very simple. If you watch any masterclasses on YouTube, if you cannot attend them in person, for instance, you can trace the same pattern with every single teacher. They describe the effect, they describe the results of how they feel legato, or how they feel articulations, or how they express dynamics or arm weight. And if the students cannot get the correct sensation from that description of the teacher, students unfortunately go turn against themselves, and feeling that if they cannot understand, that means something is wrong with them. So this creates a lot of anxiety, insecurity within students, and I don't think it have been ever addressed. I don't think they have been ever created any system that would help students create the correct sensations of tone production, musical means of expression, that then they can use independently in the right way with every next piece. So the absence of clarity, the absence of the correct method of teaching, like I said right away, describing the effect of correctly produced musical element on the piano, instead of clearly explain how to create that sensation within first. These are, I think, the issues that we have to talk about more openly in the future. And I hope that with my teaching I make a little input towards that, I think, collective goal that we should focus on. Yes, another I think big difference between my teaching and other methods is that I bring in the idea of creating the music between the notes, and the spaces between the notes. I think this actually dovetails from the previous topic, where I just explained that we all should focus more on how to find a way to teach students to create the correct sensations on their own independently, instead of just copying the fact and description of the as a result of correct feeling when teachers play the piano well. So to start with the exploring an idea that we create and control music in the space between the notes, I think is absolutely essential. There is a difference between touching the key, then realizing it was not expressing at all what we wanted to say, in the sense of dynamics of phrasing, or even evenness in technique, in tone and rhythm, and feeling also frightened because, well, we don't have the control, we don't know how to fix it, and being able, before touching the key, create the correct sensations on at the fingertips and in the ligaments and tendons, or muscles in the palm of our hand that control fingers touch. So in between is the space where we're able to create our sound in our mind mentally. That definitely translates to the tip of our finger, which naturally will touch the key the way that would reflect the clear idea of the sound in our mind. In between is also a space where we control finger muscles through our inner singing, through the vocal cords, through the sensations of this gentle resistance. In vocal singing, it's called portamento, a carried glissando. When we sing actually with the gliss, instead of just the notes, we're able to actually enter through this portal that glissando creates between the notes, that magical space. And mechanically, well, physically, it translates as getting those impulses that we feel in our inner singing with resistance to the finger muscles in our palm. So before touching the next key, if we are singing it with glissando, and at that moment we are gently prepare exactly muscles that are responsible, a very small amount of muscles and tendons and ligaments that are about to touch the key, this is how we control the sound. So I think, again, that's what differs this teaching from any other teaching. And also it's a great place to start understanding that we can play with relaxed hands and yet create music and control music while playing. Otherwise, again, if we're going from the end, from describing just the effect of how we feel when we play it well, it's not gonna work. How many times we heard to relax the forearm while keep our wrist tense enough or flexible, for example, and our fingertips a little bit pinchy and clinging. This is very broad, this is very vague, this is absolutely confusing for someone who never experienced the right sensations in the first place. Not even saying that first we need to deal with the cause of the tension and anxiety that stands on the way to actually start feeling and seeing things clear, but that's already for another topic. Okay, I think all this actually would fit to a very important topic about tension. So it's very common to address tension in the hands and tension in the body physically first, right? We would go to a Tubman approach, Alexander technique, listen to Barbara Lister sing. It's all great to establish the awareness in our body, to be aware, where do we keep tension, just to be aware how to avoid tension or avoid uncomfortable angles that make our wrist feel uneasy, how to make sure there is alignment between the parts of the arms, also alignment with the music written in the score. So this is the physical approach, and it is absolutely essential, but it is not enough. The next level is to go to eliminating mental tension, because if we just physically describe the effect of our inner correct sensation, it's not gonna work, it's not enough. So when we are able to start communicating on the level of imagination, when we both talk about the same thing that we feel inside in our imagination in terms of the sound quality or sound direction, how we group the music in our mind, it's more about structure, but just on the very regarding to the tension in the body, on the very basic level, if we are able to just imagine the sound in our mind in a very warm and soft quality, that right away gives the response to our physical sensations, just like with imagining, that lemon in our mouth would make our mouth to salivate. This is, like I said, it's a next level, and this is also a good approach to address tension that we might hold in our mind, that then unfortunately expresses itself in tension when we play. A very good example, when most of us, me including, about 20 years ago, when we play with no music in our head except, a tune and some harmonies that we've been repeating so many times, it's kind of like stuck in our mind, and we're just playing with this constant tension and anxiety in our head. That right away will be reflected in how you even approach the keyboard, how stiff you will feel in your entire body. So I would say, and I would really insist on that without achieving a healthy tension in our mind by creating the sound that we really want to produce, because tension is caused by confusion. So when we have a clear goal and we have a clear imagination in our mind, the tension goes away. Without that, we cannot achieve full relaxation in our body, even with the most efficient wrist and arm motions. We can literally copy everything that our best teachers in the world show us, but we will not be able to reproduce and copy their inner sensations, even if they just say, keep your wrist flexible and arm relaxed. But what is even more fascinating is that there is a third level, and I propose that this is an energetic tension. So we carry physical tension, mental, and also energetic. And without resolving energetic tension, even mental and physical are not going to be enough. If you've been having quite a few failures on stage, you felt frustrated when you played to your teacher, or even after hours of practice at home, you will inevitably experience a feeling of a fear of rejection, feeling very anxious and insecure. this will be carried in your energetic body. And to explain it in a more clear way, when we touch the key, we engage 3 levels of our body: physical, mental, and energetic as well. So even, for example, you can imagine beautiful soft violins, or a beautiful sound in your mind, which is colored and filtered with beautiful reverb, and it's just all round and flowing and relaxed and singing. And then you use the correct movement of your wrist and arm to express that sound. But if you do that subconsciously, without even realizing, in the habitual pattern of anxiety, and that you're doing something wrong and that you're not good enough, then this is what you literally imprint into the tone production. This will be the very energy of your mental and physical touch, in a way. So in some strange way, you could say that if you're not addressing and working with that energy of anxiety and transform it into the energy of your, unmet needs, really, what is behind anxiety: to be accepted, to feel protected, to feel safe. If you don't consciously change this feeling inside you and start practicing only with this feeling, what are you practicing? You're practicing anxiety, and you're becoming a master of playing with anxiety. Or even after practicing, carrying that anxiety within yourself during the day. So we need to, again, rethink how we approach relaxation. It's not only physical or even mental, it's also energetic. So yes, I don't know if I would get a dollar for every comment about singing. Throughout all these 12 years, I could probably get myself a house by now. So again, I think this question somehow corresponds to one of the previous one about creating music in the space between the notes. So internal singing is how we feel that space between the notes through our inner singing with slight resistance, and that enables us to control the space between the notes, to control, and as a result, control our finger muscles when we touch the key. So without singing, every touch is just an accident because it is not prepared touch. Your fingers simply have a little stroke, like, okay, I touch now. So it's not prepared, it's not ready, it doesn't know what it wants to say. It's not controlled in a healthy way. So inner singing is absolutely essential for technique in that way. But it's much, much more. When we able to create this sensation between the notes in our inner singing, this becomes like a channel to maintain and express so many other musical means of expression. For example, the arm weight. It's obviously a different topic for maybe another time, but I talked about this many times. even when we are able to feel correctly that free energy in our body, and we even able to transfer it through our body to the instrument, then the next obstacle is how to sustain, how to maintain, how to continue playing with arm weight, how just to make sure that as soon as we start playing forte, it doesn't go away and the sound stop being round and we hearing a banging sound. This is only possible when we express the free energy in our body, aka arm weight, through our singing. There is a difference between singing this way, oh, and that, oh. It's much more powerful, it feels much effortless, and doesn't put any strain on your body or even vocal cords in that matter. So, of course, the benefits of arm weight everyone knows. We can play more effortless. We don't need to execute additional effort to play loudly. We can play with beautiful round sound when we engage the free energy within our entire body. If we don't have that bridge between the note, we cannot sustain, as I mentioned before. So even if you can sing that theoretically before you start playing, how do you continue playing in that zone? It's very confusing. You might not even know if you still have arm weight or not. Where with this technique, it's very clear. And again, at any time, if you're not sure, you can sing out loud and you can check if there is a difference or not. And also, of course, it's a beautiful way to express our phrasing and articulations in a very healthy, very beautiful way. Because again, if we're talking about shaping phrasing, we can understand it with our mind. That's already a great step to actually know clearly how do I shape the phrasing, which again, no one even teach very clearly. Everyone has sort of different approach and it's all very vague. It might work for one piece and then you will not be able to copy and paste the same pattern in another piece. But beside that fact, even if you know the map, or even if you see the large structure and you see the small units and you know, okay, in those units that would be the tension point over here, you cannot express that picture in your mind through your playing. You need a carrier, and intonation, that inner singing, becomes that carrier. So let's say we have this motif, and let's say we come to that ascending fourth, right? If we just sing the notes, yes, we can use a little bit of rubato, we can use a little bit of dynamics to articulate that ascending fourth, but it feels a little bit unnatural. It doesn't feel like a natural singing. Versus if you sing it with intonation and you use the arm weight to express, feels much more round, it feels much more three-dimensional and flowing, and that will be reflected in your muscles, in your sensations, in your physical sensations.